hopped in, I immediately noticed this big screen. It pops up the digital camera to wherever you're going. You have the windows open and you put on the air purification mode, it closes the window automatically. Starting from the G70, these two lines on a DRL, we could see the Genesis has been trying to give it its unique identity over this DRLs. And since we got the Genesis lineup right here, let me show you the next one. Unlike the G70, instead of the double character lines or DRL lines, instead G90 decided to go with the one horizontal line that runs throughout. However, G90 also integrated the side markers that's not seen in the G70, but rather also the G90. However, if you look at the rear tail lights, they continue on with the two double stripes on the back. As you have seen, starting from the G70 and G90 and all the way up to the GV80 that we have over here, from that double line to a single line and back again to the double lines, as well as the side markers here, which is connected seamlessly all the way to the rear. And obviously now it's going to be the character line and characteristics of the Genesis brand to come. We'll see how the lines and also the design will change in the GV90 and also GV70 that we'll be seeing. But however, officials have confirmed, and some of you left questions for me looking for some answers, and I haven't even noticed, but you guys found out that there is actually a subwoofer right here underneath the driver's seat. And well, me pushing it back all the way, it's not going to reveal the whole thing anyway. But yeah, unfortunately, this model is not the fully equipped with the lexicon, but rather just the standard regular ones. But those subwoofers come standard. I checked it with the GRU over here, and that's exactly it. And answering the question from clancep, thanks for your question, by the way. And unfortunately, Genesis GV80 does not offer any massage system on a passenger's seat. It just is not available. And as for the driver's seat, there is a massage function, but it's not the one that we would expect from that of a Mercedes. So it's more of an assistance or alert than like a full massage that we see. And from the actual physical button that they had, this turned into a touch sensor. So with your key in your pocket, you can simply touch to lock and unlock. However, that's missing on the rear side. I hopped in, I immediately noticed this big screen. This is a 14.5 inch. Never seen before. This is the largest screen that we've seen thus far. By the way, those two red lights that you're seeing are the infrared lights that enables this GV80 to recognize if the driver is sitting in the position. So it changes and shows you different information accordingly. This is the comfort mode, probably the most the typical gauge cluster that any driver would find. Switching over to sports, tachometer becomes reddish, and I could immediately feel the bolster kind of squeezing in. And the last one is custom, and simply put, you can customize your settings. So, and go back to the very top is the echo, and that's where you could maximize your fuel efficiency. Obviously, I just played around to see if the maximum speed would change depending on the driver mode, but no, that's hits up to 260. So just following through the latest trends within the automotive scene, they put on the reverse mode, so it doesn't go up that way like a conventional one, but rather the other way. That's the gauge cluster. Let me fire it up, press the brake, and start button's right there. That's what the gauge cluster looks like after it fires up. So when you turn on the signal, like so, it pops up the digital camera to wherever you're going, left and right. So you could immediately see what's right next to you. I can barely see the front of the Beamer. When I do a shoulder check, that's what I exactly see. I put on a sports mode, and immediately the bolsters kind of squeeze me in, kind of saying that, hey, you're in a sports mode. So you can't see from that angle, but Genesis has implemented the side mirrors on a body. Front corner of the A-pillar is available to be made out of a glass. So this takes care of this blind spot, which is a big controversy and a big drama for giant SUVs like GV80. It's only tiny, it's about the size of my palm, but that adds a lot of extra safety. You'll know what I mean if you've been driving a big SUV before, and also or a truck for that matter. I just came across an Escalade, but I mean, of course, the size wise, Escalade is going to get, I mean, Escalade is bigger, Escalade is Escalade, but I actually had almost the same ride height as the driver. 휠베이스는 더 짧다고.
휠베이스는 요차가 더 긴데 후륜이다 보니까 예, 전장과 전고가 더 짧다고 보시면 되겠습니다.
That sums up the test drive, and you guys are wondering what the last two things are that I haven't yet disclosed. I was at Hyundai Motor Studio, and there was a Palisade up for display as well, so I hopped in to get the immediate feeling of the differences between the two, Palisade and the GV80. So this is the fifth thing that you didn't know about, which is that big LED light on the back of the trunk, which GV80 is missing. Also, another thing that GV80 is missing is these air conditioning system on the rear seats. Palisade has it, and GV80 doesn't. I don't know why. The very last thing I wanted to point out is don't forget to disable this auto hold when you are reversing your car while trying to park. As soon as you take your foot off the brake, it will hold automatically, so you don't get that traditional smooth reversing back of a car. For the record, the P button that you see next to the drive, the D, is so that the vehicle doesn't lock in a parking mode when you turn off the engine. That button will keep your car at a neutral so that the car can roll with a human force back and forth. And you guys are probably wondering why that feature is added in there. Korea being a very compacted country with full of cars in a parking lot, this feature is a must because we parallel park in front of the cars that's already been parked. And ironically, for that reason, some people just cannot buy a German car. As soon as you open up a door or you turn off your engine, it will go into the park, lock your gears immediately. So that's maybe what Genesis has seen, that need of car being able to move in a neutral. So that's why they threw in that feature right there, that I can tell you. It might be useful in some European countries, I don't know. Tell me if wherever you are, you think you need this feature, aside from Korea.
And on a steering wheel, starting from the top one, this controls the gauge cluster, like so. And this is the lane keeping. This is assistance. This is the button for keeping the automated distance with the car in the front. This button right here will increase or decrease the speed that you're on when you put on the cruise mode. This is just simply a roll up and down button. So for instance, you have the windows open and you put on the air purification mode, it closes the window automatically. this, you can have it up there like while you're driving. The best part about this is that it provides the blind spot that you just cannot see from with your bare eyes because of the car being high and long and big. You can't see those blind spots, but you know, we just saw a pedestrian walk by and I could see the full resolution of him walking by. Not just talking about what I am seeing right now in front of me, the G70. So this is not just the fancy technology that they threw in, just, you know, bragging about what they can do or what Hyundai can do about the technology, but this is actually very applicable and useful. I have a good feeling that this technology alone will save a lot of lives out there, because believe it or not, with the giant SUVs like these, there are a lot of unforgiving accidents, like unforeseen accidents.